ago I did OJ, Owen Jones. And so to even up things, I'm going to do someone from the right. And his name is Boris Johnson, BJ. Boris Johnson, or to give him his correct name, or the amount of names that he's got. These are the ones that I know so far. His real name apparently is Alexander Boris de Peffel Johnson, or de Peffel. That's his real name. Old Etonian, Bullingdon Club, ultra right-wing toff, stinking rich, Mayor of London, elected twice, right-wing populist. It's hardly a handicap here in Scabland, is it? Or Scab Nation. Many young first-time voters went for him because he's fun. His image as a bumbling, affable bloke has served him very well indeed. He kind of reminds me in a way of the self-proclaimed non-sexist man. Vulnerable, yet arrogant, and more importantly, posh. He even rides a bike. Boris himself is, of course, a rampant, drooling sexist. A bit like non-sexist men, really, if you could but see it. He's certainly a racist. Who could forget those charming remarks about pickaninnies with watermelon smiles? And he barely conceals his dislike of the working class. His mutterings about Liverpool people wallowing in their own misery in the aftermath of Hillsborough is only one case in point. He supports the opposite side of the class war, against us, 100%. Water cannon for the great unwashed, and goodness knows what else. He perceives us, as it seems, well, yeah, that's how he perceives us, the great unwashed, the scum. Seems, according to the polls, that if Boris is leader of the Conservative Party, he would win the next election, or the Tories would win the next election. What Boris wants to be is PM and not MP. The path for this is almost, for him at least, preordained. Elected for a safe seat in London, probably Uxbridge, after the election, he will then displace or overthrow Cameron. There are many scenarios, and this is but one of them. For example, when Cameron begins to flounder over European renegotiation, he, Boris, will be the main contender for Conservative leader. Forget Osborne and Theresa May. Who are they compared to the blonde bombshell? BJ could be Prime Minister sooner than you or me think. Even if Miliband and Labour win a majority, it would be a non-working lame duck one, and be easy enough to dispose of with a vote of confidence, or non-confidence, as they say. Remember how Labour exited in 1979? Well, as anarchists, we automatically reject party politics, parliament, the state. But I do believe that we should be aware of what is going on as regards our disgusting, vicious ruling class and what they've got planned for us, which is always negative and getting worse every year. So, what if BJ does become MP? And who the hell is he anyway? Well, to quote from that brilliant 1940s movie, Nightmare Alley, the carnival barker shouts to the crowd about the attraction, the geek, and beneath that shaggy mane, the brain of a beast. And what sort of beast is BJ? Well, the sort of beast who has been to, you guessed it, to Eton, a member of the ultra-tough Bullingdon Club at Oxford, like his chums, Cameron and Osborne. He's a prolific scribbler, TV star, editor of The Spectator, columnist for a daily earning £150,000 a year, chicken feed according to the ultra-wealthy BJ. But above all things, he is a mega celebrity and ambitious, screamingly ambitious. He's always wanted a top job. Probably he's wanted to be Prime Minister seriously since his pre-Eton days, and has worked towards that end and that singular goal with Uriah Heep-like determination, probably since his prep school days. It's probably like His first name is Alexander. He'd probably be thinking with his classical education of Alexander the Great. And that's probably how he sees himself. Alexander the Great. But he's not stupid. He's very canny, this slimy bastard, with his buffoonish persona masking a megalomaniac preoccupation, which is, of course, total power once he's got the top job. And it takes a clever man to act the fool, as indeed he does all the time. This pseudo-populist has managed to get elected twice, not once, but twice, as Mayor of London, using it as a launching pad for the ultimate post of top pig. He's devious and ruthless. The indecision about standing or finding a seat in 2015, which isn't very far away now, was merely a well-executed ruse, I think. Cunning in the extreme. By this time next year, he'll be multitasking in City Hall and the Commons, eyeing the big prize. How he must be salivating over the 6% lead the polls gave the Tories if he has the top job in their party. He's already got a mega profile, so with support from the Murdoch press, the Times, the Sun, nationally, and the Evening Standard in London, or the Evening Boris as I've been calling it for the past couple of years, and with the power at any cost Conservative Party soon to be in his pocket, and with millions of UKIP voters up for grabs as well when he plays the Eurosceptic card, I reckon he's an odds-on shot in the not too distant future for that top job. Also, nothing seems to stick with this geezer. Extramarital affairs, for example, would bring down ignominiously the career of many a politician. People just say, oh, well, it's just Boris. And that's his wife. Racism. Hatred of the oi polloi, the plebs. And yet, they love him. Apart from Liverpool and parts of the north, they love him to death. Cuddly Boris. Millions of people will gladly line up to vote for this creep, because that's how people behave, like idiots, when it comes to politics UK, in particular voting for toffs, BJ being the prime example, who wants to become and will probably become Prime Minister. Servile Britain serves as a background to all this. Just look at all these photo opportunities. Cameron and Osborne surrounded by groups of workers with moronic grins on their faces in warehouses and building sites, as content as a group of Kim Il-jung supporters before the great and dear leader. Our population as a whole, after the start of World War I, 100 years ago, as we're constantly reminded, is still differential to the monarchy and the tops. Any other country, these politicians and aristocrats will be in physical danger. No photo ops with the proles for them, and quite rightly as well. They'd have to avoid direct contact for good reason, because they could end up assassinated or in physical danger. Here, I'm afraid the masses would trample each other to death in order to rush to be obsequious before our natural ruling class, which they've done for nearly 100 years. Notice as well how he's Boris. First name stuff. I'll tell you, we'll be sitting in number 10 soon. If he ain't, I'll be eating this. So what can we expect? Well, he's already ordered the water cannon as Mayor of London. See my previous vidcast, Boris and the water cannon, to tell you what I think about that. It shows his real authoritarian side of that water cannon business. But it's not water cannon, that's just like the mild introduction to what he's really got in store for us. You've got to remember also, we haven't had any minor, political or even major political disturbance on the streets or social disturbance since the last round of riots. Much to our everlasting shame, I'd say. But it's Ferguson, Missouri, that's his intention. Militarized police and the rule of the super rich. A dystopian movie scenario. As I say, watch the rise of this man. It'll be swift. At the moment, our population is not even on its knees. We're prostrate and grovelling on our bellies without landing a blow against the enemy. Pitiful. But Boris may be the man to change all that. Boris's opportunity could be ours too. And one other thing, as for you people in Scotland. A no vote in a referendum means you will be voting to be ruled by Boris and his chums. All I can say to you is good luck to you then. You'll need it. As indeed we will all, being ruled by Alexander the Great.